Hi, and welcome back to Creative Faith with Makenna. In today's video, we are going over another Meals with Mom. Today's recipe is banana bread. For today's recipe, you are going to need milk, sugar, vegetable oil, vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and of course some very rotten looking bananas. Those were your wet ingredients. Now for your dry ingredients, you are going to need flour, salt, baking soda, and baking powder. To start off, you're going to need that sugar I told you about earlier. So you're going to want 1.5 cups of sugar, and then you're going to want 1/2 cup of oil, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3/4 cup of milk. Be sure to beat those wet ingredients together. And before you grab your bananas, you're going to want to set your oven to 350 Fahrenheit.
Hi everybody.
Mash up those bananas, make them look like a mushy mess on a plate. That's what you want. It's okay. It's supposed to look bad. That should add up to about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of bananas, and then you're going to want to add those bananas that you've mashed up into your wet ingredients bowl. Now, do you remember those wet ingredients? No, we already did that. Do you remember those dry ingredients I told you about earlier? The flour, salt, baking soda, and baking powder. That's what you're going to need now. You're going to want to grab 2 cups of flour, and then you're going to want 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then you're going to want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Now mix that all together really well, because at this point you're going to want to grab your pans and start to grease them with butter, and then also kind of flour them, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So now that you've got your baking dishes for your banana bread, you're going to want to grab some butter or margarine, whatever you want to use, and just put it on a little bit piece of like a paper towel, I guess. And then you're going to want to grease your pans really well. Now, you know, it'll look messy, but that's okay. Then you're going to want to grab just a little bit of flour and put it in each pan, and then like move the pan so that like all the sides are kind of covered with flour a little bit. And then dump the excess out in the sink. Now, this is key. This is very important. Once you mix your dry ingredients with your wet ingredients, the process is going to begin, and you have to be fast. You have to put it in the, oven, or mix it together really, really well, and then waste no time and put it in your pans. When you're pouring out your, mixture into your pans, try to make them even because you've got 2 pans, right? So, yeah. Now you are going to put your baking dishes with your, mixture in them in the oven. Yay! Oh, and now you're going to want to set your timer on your microwave for 50 minutes, but we might give it a little bit more or a little less. It's just a kind of a starting point for how much time you want to leave it to bake. So one more thing that you might want to check on, sometime into the baking of the banana bread that's in the oven, you're going to want to make sure that your edges are not burning, and if they are starting to burn, especially with a metal kind of baking dish, not so much the glass one, but especially with the metal one, you're going to want to cut out a piece of tin foil and then kind of cover the edges. We did 5 more minutes for this one, and then 8 to 9 minutes for the one that's still in the oven when we put the tin foil on it. And this will help prevent burn around the edges of the pan, because what you might be thinking is that, oh, it's done, and it's not. Trust me, it is not finished. All it's basically saying is that the edges are burning, but the actual inside is not done baking yet. So in order to prevent that burnt edge feeling, you put tinfoil over the baking pan, and just cut out a little square in the middle to allow the baking process to continue in the middle. Now here you want to take a knife and then basically just put it in the middle to see if there's any goo left on it, to check if it still needs to bake more. You just kind of have to take it by eye, take it by ear. Yeah, you just kind of watch it, and you'll notice when it's starting to burn and when you need to place that tinfoil on. When everything is happy, you can take it out, knife around the edges to make it easier for you to flip it over and take it out of the pan. Approval from Julian?
It's horrible. I'll have the rest.
You'll take one for the team? Okay.
Seems like he likes it. This is it for today's Monday Meals with Mom. I hope you enjoy this banana bread recipe, because you know what, everything in a recipe it's hard to read a recipe and actually understand it, even if it's got pictures. I find videos really help, so I hope this helped you in your banana bread journey, baking journey or whatever, because I would not have known how to do this myself, to be honest. So yeah. Have a wonderful day, and I hope that you try this recipe, and if you do, let me know in the comments, or let me know on Instagram at mackiegrace.digital.art. So yeah. Oh, and as always, credit goes to my beautiful mother that helped make this. Actually, she did it all. Helped make it. No, she did it all. So credit goes to her. I was just there to videotape. Okay, bye.